Hey guys, the disease that I'm going to be presenting today is the rabies virus. Like we all know, the rabies virus is very common in most states, considering you do get them from rabid animals. Rabid meaning that they are infected with the rabies disease. Anywhere that there are wild animals, there is going to be the presence of the rabies virus. The rabies virus looks like a bullet with little cilia-like hairs in it, and it is made up of 5 different proteins. These proteins being protein M, protein N, protein G, L, and protein P. And like all other viruses, it also includes RNA and also an envelope. We all know or have heard or seen an animal that we thought might have had rabies virus. The most important thing to do if you ever get bit by something and you suppose that it may be rabid and has the rabies virus is to first off call your local animal control. They will take the animal into captivity and hold it and make sure that it shows no signs of the rabies, because there is no treatment for the rabies. All we can do is give a vaccine to hopefully help the spreading of the virus and isolate it and kill it before it turns fatal. The first shot that you will get is an immune globulin, and that'll be right near the site of where you did get bitten by the animal. And the second thing is the second round of shots that you will get are 4, and those will be spread out between the next 2 weeks. An important test that they do on animals to determine if they have rabies or not is the direct fluorescent test, and that will help determine if the animal has rabies by looking in the brain tissue and seeing if they see any traces of the rabies virus. Like we said, they're little bullet-shaped cilia-like hair structures. Like we said, there is no treatment for the rabies once you get it. That's why it is so incredibly important to prevent it. Vets do a few tests to make sure and make certain that the animal does have rabies, because not only is it expensive, but it's also emotional if it's in a pet and it gets bit by a wild animal and it turns rabid, and then you or your family member gets it. It's an extremely emotional process, and so that's why they make 100% sure that the animal does have the rabies. And also, it is extremely important that we know for sure if the person that got bit has it or not, because we don't just want to be giving out these random vaccines for things that it's not necessary. So they perform a whole series of tests to make sure that we do not get the rabies virus itself. Okay, some symptoms of the rabies virus is weakness, headaches, having a difficult time swallowing, a really high fever, confusion, and people say hallucinations, but most of the time people that hallucinate are exaggerating because it's already got it in their head. The animals that are most likely to have the rabies virus are dogs and bats. Although we are aware that any wild animal that has not been vaccinated for the rabies virus is acceptable to get the rabies virus. All it takes is being bit by a rabid animal, and whether it's a pet, whether it's another wild animal, they are all susceptible to getting it. Like I said, the rabies virus is found worldwide. Most of the time, there are more fatalities in countries that their health system is less developed than ours. Let's say you go to Africa and you get bit by an animal. You will probably be more likely to end up dying there because their health system is not advanced as ours. They don't keep the immune globulins and the other 4 vaccines on hand. They are also less likely to vaccine their animals because we'll talk about here in just a second. Getting your animals vaccinated is a very important part of preventing the rabies virus. And I'm telling you, the rabies virus is not something you want to have because it is fatal. The best way to prevent your animals from getting the rabies virus is vaccinate them. Take them to your local vet. Yes, it may be a little expensive, but it's better that to keep you and your family safe than from it catching the rabies virus. Also, if it's possible, don't let your animals or your children or you and yourself around a wild animal. You never want to approach an animal that you are unfamiliar with because it may have rabies, and there's no obvious signs, there's no way for us to know 100% sure if an animal has rabies or not. And also, if you're going somewhere that you're not familiar with, it is very important to go ahead and get vaccinated for the rabies virus just to make sure that you are on the safe side and that you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Well, that is all, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope that you all learned some things about the rabies virus and you will take everything into consideration and keep you and your family safe. Vaccinate your animals. That is very important. And like I said, if you think that you have even come close to an animal that may have the rabies virus and you were bitten, I would highly recommend you call your local animal control and follow the steps that I have said. Thank you. Have a nice day.